And we're back at it again with another tier list, this time of the bosses of Elden Ring. Now, there are quite a few bosses, because this isn't just the character boss. Oh no. This is pretty much every possible boss you can come across. And we are going to rank them. I'll give you the definitive rank of all of these bosses from S to F. We're going to rank these bosses on their standout lore, their drip, their moveset, how annoying they were to fight. And at the end of this, we will have a distinctive tier list of the best bosses of Elden Ring. Let's get to it. Number 1, Battle Mage Hughes. Now this guy I didn't even see in my first time I played through, because I think I missed it in Caelid. I didn't even know there was a jail in Caelid. But I absolutely... Okay, 1, his drip. Interesting. I like it. I like his drip. Now 2, his lore. I mean, it's alright. He's trapped there because he liked fighting a bit too much. He liked fighting just a little bit too much. And so, I think overall, I think he's very C. Nothing to hate, but nothing really to stand out. I mean, his the fact that he doesn't fucking stagger, or that any of these enemy types don't stagger ever. I mean, it's just, that's annoying. But hey, that's what he got. Beast of Pharah, one of the early bosses, possibly the first boss you come across after the boss that's made to kill you. And you know what? I really like him. It's an interesting design. The boss fight is really, really cool. The fact that he's here, he just fell from Pharah for, I don't know, he just got kicked out for being too cool, maybe. So he again is going into C. And there's not much to go with there, and we got a lot to go through, so, you know, C it is. Bell-bearing hunter. This guy. So there's not really much known. Like, I don't really know much. There's not much lore-wise around him. He just goes around killing people for their bell bearings, right? So, you know, D. Not much. Meh. I mean, cool design. Actually, that design's pretty cool. C. Okay, the design solder. Boris the Freezer, the fucking D. I hate this guy. This guy annoys the hell out of me. It took so many times, like, I would almost get him down, and then the fucking frostbite would kill me. And it's just, you know, fly away. Frostbite. Blah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, the dragons all look cool, but they all look like dragons, right? And so, honestly, as their fight and the way they're introduced... Actually, the way they're introduced, okay. Going off the way he's introduced is really, really cool. Running across the frozen lake, and then suddenly you lose complete sight because all the fog comes in. You hear the giant roar, and then you're like, oh, shit. And then he comes in and the fight begins. I think that's a really cool and interesting way to start it. So, you know what? He gets a C. I've convinced myself. C for convinced. Alright, Cemetery Shade. This guy, F. Annoying to fight. Basic design. Stupid insect noise. Why does he have an insect on his head that shoots like a laser at you, that traps you, and then he just fucking eats your face, right? And his stupid flail attack. Just F. Anyone else who puts it not at F is wrong. Alright, Clean Right Knight. These guys. Actually, you know what? It's going at A. I loved this fight. It's so much fun. I love the Clean Right Knights in general. Their drip, 100% awesome. Their fighting style, great. And their lore, really, really interesting. That they're knights sworn to fight for millennia, even though they know the Scarlet Rot will slowly eat them away, but they are loyal enough, they believe enough that they will fight until the death. A. Commander ONeill. Fuck this man. His fight sucks. Just the dude in armor. His armor's pretty cool, but the fight sucks. It sucks too much. It's going to be a D. I mean, I killed it. It's not as bad as Cemetery Shade. Cemetery Shade just sucks. Not because he's hard, he just sucks. But Commander ONeill goes D. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree with that. Bloody lightning foot piece of shit. Hate him. Black Blade Kindred. Just a stronger version of the gargoyles. Pretty basic. Not much really. Just made out of the black metal, black stone. So he'll go in D as well. Not much there. Black Knife Assassins. These guys are cool. They're going in B. Their animations are sick. So sick. And great drip. Great drip. Looking like fucking straight out of Lord of the Rings. Looking like the Nazgul. It's great. And awesome lore. These guys killed a demigod. I mean, with the help of another demigod, but they killed the demigod. That was never done before. Fucking awesome. And they were just there. They were already a thing, and then they were just hired because, you know, Rani was like, you guys are good. I think you deserve to kill it. I think you of all assassins can kill Godfrey. So there you go. 100% B. Bloodhound Knight Darrowil. The start of Blythe's quest line. He sends you to kill this man. And you know what? I enjoy fighting all of the Blood Knights. They're so much fun. And the fact that these knights go around until they find a specific lord or someone to follow, and they become almost like a loyal bloodhound to these lords or champions. I think that's a really, really cool lore. Just really cool lore behind it. So he's 100% going B. Bloodhounds, the Bloodhound Knights in general, Darrowil, even though apparently you were a traitor, but you're going in B. Because I say so. Bowls, Carrion Knight. Who are you? Ah, one of the knights that still serve the I don't know who they, yeah, no, of course, Carrion, my god, it's in the name. Jeez, Kip, come on, you can do better than this. But he's probably one of the harder knights, apart from the fucking Frenzy Flame Knights. Screw though, it's still Frenzy Flame. God, my mouth. Frenzied Frame. Okay, I'm just going to stop saying that. So Bolts himself, I think it is pretty average. The Giants are kind of cool, but there's nothing really special about them, so they can go in C. He's got some cool spells behind his belt. It's pretty cool. All right. Commander ONeill. This guy is a little bit better than his brother over there, Niall. Like, he summons a bunch of dudes, but apart from that, you just run around him and attack. And I don't know, I'm a fan of a giant spear. If Niall didn't have his second form, I think he'd be up there in C as well. But because of his second form, he's staying in D. We all know why. Crucible Knight. These guys, I love the Crucible Knight. Their lore is interesting because it goes real far, way back into like the creation of the Erd Tree and possibly the tree that was there before the Erd Tree took over. And the fact that they worship that old entity, or at least they used to. And you can see interesting that they were obviously trained, or they trained with Godfrey. Not Godfrey. Which one? Yes. They trained with Godfrey because they have similar movesets. The big stomp, ground gets spiked up, big swing over, followed with a big roundabout. It's awesome. I love these connections you can have between characters just from their animation set, just from the animation set. Same with the Misbegotten. I think that will be later on, but the Misbegotten, again, has a very similar animation style. There could be some interesting lore behind that we haven't yet found out, that could be revealed in a DLC. So Crucible Knight's going to go to B. Plus, everyone likes a big, beefy knight boy. They're just cool. Now, the Crystallians. I don't know enough about the Crystallians. Yeah, okay, we don't know much about them, and fighting them is an absolute nightmare. The whole thing about you got to slowly work away their outer shell, and then eventually, once you stun them, the outer shell breaks, and they become super easy to kill after that. And then you got the stupid dude with the spear who just jumps after you. He's like, a jump, a spear, a jump, a spear, a jump, a spear. It's annoying. It sucks. D. Get in there. Decaying Enzymes. Again, another dragon. Pretty cool in the fact that he's got the Scarlet Rot and he breathes Scarlet Rot and he gives you an awesome spell when he kills you. Don't know why he's there. I don't know why he's not amongst the rest of the dragons at Dragon Barrow. But, you know, because he's a C. He's a C. We can all agree. He's a C. Yes? Demi-human queens. Now, we don't know much about the demi-humans. They just kind of exist alongside the humans and other creatures of the world. And this is their queen. Nothing interesting. Has a cool staff. That's great for spellcasting, especially early on. But you know what? D. Interesting, we haven't had any S tier yet, right? Demi-human chief. F. Nothing interesting about it. I'm sorry. Nothing interesting about them at all. The Golems. The Golems are cool. I'm going to throw that up in C. I am being very, very particular this time around, aren't I? Wow. I mean, the Golems, all the Golems are cool. I like fighting them. Just smacking at their ankles like, nyah, 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 nyah. Like little gnats. Eventually they fall over. They're like, no. And they're down, and then you just smack them some more. Just nyah, 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 nyah. It's great. And they look really, really cool. I love this kind of like terracotta army look. Excellent. Dragon King Soldier of Noxtella. Fight a few of these. And honestly, they intrigue me. They look, their stomach is concave. Concave. Just like other giants, but they're not a giant. They're a Dragon King Dragon Kin. So does that mean they're like some combination of giant and dragon? That's really cool, and I really wish we can like learn more about them when we possibly get a DLC. So for that, I'm gonna throw them into B. Now the Erdtree avatars. This is a tough one, I think. I'm gonna throw them. D. You know what? D. They all fight the same, basically. It's a cool design, but that's it. They're just there. They're avatars of the Erdtree. They trying to stop you from, I don't know, cutting down the Erdtree. Nah, not interesting. The Watchdogs. Watchdogs are cool. I love their design. Their fights are so interesting. The first time I came across one, it was a nightmare because I couldn't get the timing down because of the fucking delay. And then the speed of the swigs, it was crazy. But then you like the lore behind them where they're all created to defend these barrows where people were originally laid to rest to become one with the Erdtree again and then eventually come back to life through the Erdtree. Excellent little lore snippet there to expand the world. Really, really cool. Love them. Asgar, Priest of Blood. This guy's fucking hilarious. You find him in a little bear, like a tomb at the bottom of Lindell, at the bottom of all the sewers. He's just a tiny little dude. He runs after you and he tries to hit you and you just smack him away. He's hilarious. Fucking A. I love this man. I love this man so much. Now, the Falling Star Beast. This is interesting because as a fight, I fucking hate it. It's horrible. Who likes this? No one. It's horrible. But the lore behind it is interesting. I like everything we know about the outer cosmos, all the stars and stuff is interesting. It's not expanded upon too much, but it's all hinted at. And these stars, they fall from the sky. Obviously, it's a falling star beast. And so what's their purpose? Are these baby stars? If they stayed in the sky, would they turn into an Estelle? Is that what it is? It can't be because there's a full-grown one later, right? So I think overall, interesting lore, horrible boss fight. I think you go in D, right? You can go in D. The Fell Twins. I feel like this fight is supposed to be reminiscent of the whole Margaret and Morg relationship, how they are the original Fell Twins. And so I wonder if these are actually a reflection of those two, considering that you have to fight this person or this duo when you're trying to go to the Divine Tower for Margot's room. But the fight itself is pretty average. It's just two Fell Omens, right? The Omen, two Omens. That's what they call it. Just two Omens, right? So for that, I think C. Another Dragon King Soldier, that can go up there with B, right? It's similar with the Dragon King Soldier of Noxtella, just in a different spot. Dragon Lord Placido. S. 100%. Percent. The way that you get there, falling asleep in like the barrow and then the time rewinding, slowly rebuilding everything, and then suddenly you're in this huge cathedral with this giant ancient dragon floating in the center that as you run over to it, unfurls and you fight it. And the fight itself is badass as fuck. Like you're sending laser beams and red lightning and teleporting. Oh, it is probably one of the most outstanding fights in the game. The only downside, it's still S, but the only downside is 100% the run back to the boss arena. That's it. Why wasn't there a statue of Marika right outside? Come on, FromSoft. Really? Elden Beast. Elden Beast is going as a B. Gorgeous model. Everything about like the environment around it and the music is so like melancholy and holy. So cool. But I mean, as a fight, it's pretty average, right? But it is the last boss, so that's where it's going. Solid B. Elamir of the Briar. I'm going to put him at B. Now, his fight's annoying. Like, you're stuck inside with all these tables, and he has the really, really cool sword that is basically a lightsaber that he controls through the Force. I mean, that's what it is. You can't say it's not. He swings it, and it goes flying out, and then he returns it. He controls it with the Force. It's simple, right? But his armor set is incredibly cool. The fact that he was about to be executed, and then he's like, nope, not today, and then got up and killed his executor and everyone else, and then took the weapon. Awesome character, cool fight. Fear's Champion. Fear's Champion is going as A, mostly because it's all these cool recurring characters. You fight Rogier. Sad that he had to die, but it's a cool fight. And then you fight the person who... So yeah, originally you fight what I think might be a version of Vike. And then later on, after you kill him, you then have to fight Rogier. And then after that, you have to fight two just regular people. One person with double axe, one person with a sword and board. And then, what's the name of the main Fear's Champion person? Lionel the Lionheart. I remember. I didn't even have to Google. Lionel the Lionheart. Who, just a big, bulky man with a rapier. Interesting. But I love it. A tier. Everything about Fear is cool. The Fire Giant. This man's going in B. Cool fight. The fact his design, awesome. The giant eye in his chest, great. The fact that he does a roly-poly. Amazing. Whoever decided to do that. Stop, drop, and roll. Funny because he's a fire giant. I really, really hope that's why they decided to give him the role. Because of stop, drop, and roll. It just makes too much sense. But he's a B. Flying Dragon Agheel. Okay, this one is going up in B. Specifically because of that entrance, boy. I mean, probably the coolest dragon entrance apart from Dragon Lord Placidus X. You're just running into the lake and you're like, oh, look at those enemies over there. I'm just going to kill them for some experience. They seem pretty easy to kill, right? Get a bit closer, you hear a roar. What was that? And then suddenly, boom, dragon. They're all dead. You're fighting a fucking dragon. Awesome. Full-grown Falling Star Beast. I mean, all my arguments for Falling Star Beast fall into this, so D tier. Glintstone Dragon Smaragd. This one, I mean, again, all my arguments as well. This problem, again, fits with Borealis and the other dragon as well. Sitting solidly in C tier. Pretty simple. Wait, did I drink Godfrey there? No. Glintstone Dragon. There you go. Get there. Now, Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. This is cool. This guy is the Chad amongst Chads. Just welcomes you in. And he's like, you know what? You are on your way to be Elden Lord. But now that I'm back, too bad. So sad. You start fighting him, and then you get the upper hand. He goes, you know what? I'm done with all these pleasantries. I'm done pretending to be a lord. Kills the lion on his back, which is there not to help him, but to keep his bloodlust in check. And then suddenly you're fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger, combined with a WWE wrestler. Some of the coolest grabs. It's like suddenly it's Tekken. He's picking you up. He's doing king moves on you. It's great. Godfrey, A tier. 100%. Godfrey the Grafted. Now, this one. Godric the Gifted. Oh, it's just Godric the Grafted in... I'm just going to... Actually, no, you know what? This is C tier, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Because now we have Godric the Grafted. Godric the Grafted, A tier. 100%. Excellent first major boss. All the lore around this character who is like 2 steps away from all the demigods, but just begging for power. He wants the power. He wants to live up to the legacy of the golden lineage of Godfrey. And so he starts grafting people, tarnished specifically, onto him to get stronger and stronger. And then when you're fighting him, you're getting the upper hand. And so he's, you know what? I'm going to replace my hand with a fucking dragon. Cuts it off in the middle of the fight. Grafts on a dragon head. Continues the fight. Excellent. And the music around it is really cool. His design is great. I mean, he's just one of those characters that, yeah, he's not a good guy. Not at all. But he's a great little villain to hate. Just like in the other tier list, you need good villains to hate. And Godric is one of them. Moving on. God-Sickened Apostles. Okay, this is going to be a little bit controversial because I know how many people absolutely hate the double Godskin fight and the fact they're, reused a little bit too much. But they're going in B. I find them super interesting. Like, what's their end goal? Why are they Godskins? Why are they God Killers? Like, why the name? This black flame magic is super, super interesting. What is it? Who is the gloam-eyed queen? What is this all about? There's so much mystery surrounding them and the design is too cool not to give up. And plus, I mean, the double fight didn't really affect me too much. I mean, maybe I was using the bleed build, so that was it. But I mean, I was using 2, long curved swords, not the fast ones, not katanas. So, I mean, hey, there's that. I wasn't full cheese. But, so cool. Love them. I love them. Godskin Duo, same reason. There. Boom. Easy. Sold. Godskin Noble. Boom. There. Fat Boy. Love him. Roly-poly man. Grafted Skyon. This is... the first boss you face. The Grafted Skyon. Skion? Whatever. You know what? Really, really cool design. Again, similar to Godric the Grafted. First boss you fight to introduce you to the game and give you just a fucking, you're gonna die. A lot. But, there's not much lore about it. It's just kind of like, I think a kid. Honestly, pretty dark. A kid. So I'm gonna throw him in C. I think that's where the Grafted goes. The Gravewater Jewelers. These guys are cool. I like them. 100% B. I love their moveset. I love they're just buff dudes with hammers. It's super cool. So, simple B. Moving on. Kindred of Rot. These guys, the fucking prawns. I honestly started off hating these things. They're terrifying. I hate them. They're giant bugs. They shoot those stupid, laser-guided fucking missiles at you. But the more I've played the game, the more they've intrigued me. Where did they come from? Why do they worship the god of rot? What's their purpose? So much mystery. And for that, they're going in C. The Leonine Misbegotten. Again, connection through animation. Godfrey. Really cool animation. Stomp the ground. Ground spikes come up, hit you with an overside thing, swing. Crucible Knight, exact same move, just not as good. And lastly, Leonine Misbegotten. Stomps the ground, you all know the animation, you know it. And does the swing. Similar animation, just a lot faster because, not wearing just fuck tons of armor. So I would love to know more about these specific ones. Why do they have the same animations as the Crucible Knight? What is the relationship between the Crucible Knight and the Leonine Misbegotten? And the fight itself is really cool, so you know what? It's going in C. How much more do we have? My goodness, I think we're about halfway, maybe a little bit more. Okay, moving on. Lich Dragon Fortisax. This is a cool dragon fight. I mean, after you finish off with Fierce Champions, and she eventually dies either through, or while she's sleeping as well, with next to the corpse of, Godfrey, at the bottom of the Elden at the Erd tree. You can enter her dreams, and there's Lich Dragon Fortisax, because I believe Fortisax is the dragon that Godfrey befriended during the wars that led to the end of the war between the Erd tree and the dragons, and led to, you know, all the knights, especially a lot of the knights of the Erd tree, learning dragon magic, all the lightning magic and stuff. It's really, really cool. And so you got him in death, seemingly still defending Godfrey for some reason. Sorry, not God. Yeah, Godfrey. It's like, what is this? Why is he there? It's so cool. So for that reason alone, B. If you can't tell, lore is important. Lion Guardians. These things can go fuck themselves. D. We all agree they're annoying. They should all die. Continuing on. Loretta, Knight of the Haligtree. This one is tough. I do enjoy the fight. It's interesting. I love her lore. The fact that she eventually, like, you know, she works for the Carrion noble family, but after all that she's seen, she fully renounces everything about the Carrion noble family and travels all the way to the Haligtree and sees something. Yes, this is something I would like to defend. This defense of the innocent, defense of the downtrodden. Very, very noble. And the fact that there's a difference between her when she is in person and the image of her is that all of the Carrion colors have been stripped off her armor. Awesome effect. Awesome little nod to that story. So I'm going to pop her in B. That's where she goes. Mad Pumpkinhead. Our friend Pumpkinhead. We see them all over the game. They're just so bloodthirsty they have to wear these pumpkin things on their heads to minimize what affects them. Any sound can set them off into a murderous rage. Interesting people. So C. Nothing super fancy about them, but, you know, nothing bad about them either. They're interesting. Mimic tier. S tier. S tier specifically, because it is as hard as you want to make it. You are fighting you, and you, aka we, are S tier, 100%. You know, self-love and all that, we are the best. And so, aka, the Mimic tier is the best. Also, it's great. You just get naked, it's naked, you put your armor back on, and it's like, oh shit. Bad times. It's great, I love it. Miranda, the Blighted Bloom. Okay, F tier, it's just a flower. It's just a flower. F tier. Mog, the Omen. A tier. Oh, wait, that's the A tier. No, yeah, actually, no. I was wrong. B tier. Awesome fight. Great music. I love the story around him. He's the twin of Morgott. Both are born to Godfrey and Marika. Alright? But of course, they're Omen babies, and so they were sent into the sewers. But Mog, unlike Morgott, came to worship one of the other outer gods in the... Oh, what's the outer god's name? The Formless Mother. My god, I didn't even need to start Googling, and my brain was like, tick! That's what it was. The Formless Mother, which is all about blood and sacrifice and all that kind of stuff. We don't know, again, another outer god we don't know much about. Now, and not to mention his drip. My god, have you seen it? He has style. I want that style. Dude knows what's up. The only reason he's at B, he's not higher, is because of his weird infatuation with Mikala. Right? We'll get to Mikala later. Wait, no, you won't. Mikala's not a character, not a boss. Mikala, one of the other Empyreans who is forever young, made the Haligtree himself so that he could embed himself in it and eventually overcome his curse and grow up and become another god to cure his sister, Melania, of the Scarlet Rot. A very, very noble thought. But in the process, Mog stole him because Mog has some weird infatuation with him and started using his blood and feeding Mikala his blood to try and, kickstart that process, but with him connected to it so that he could become his consort and create a new dynasty of gods. Just a little bit weird. Mog, Lord of Blood. Same person. Magma worm. Again, it's just like a magma worm. It's just a creature. Apparently, I need to check this up, but apparently they are knights that have eaten too many dragon hearts and have become dragons themselves. So that's a pretty cool little story nod there. I mean, they'll never be as cool as us dragons. I may be a kobold, and I'm still related to dragons more than them. So I'm awesome. But anyway, magma worm, D tier, pretty average. Malenia, Blade of Mikala. Alright. S tier. Okay, I know what you're thinking. But Kip, her fight is bullshit. Yes, her fight is bullshit. But it's still a lot of fun. And the entire story behind her is really fucking cool. The fact that she's born with this scarlet rot inside of her. She fought Starscourge Radan to a standstill, decided to bloom with the scarlet rot, created fucking Kaled. She created that entire thing, and it's spreading. The fact that it's still spreading. So she goes back to defend Mikala, find out Mikala's been taken. She doesn't know by who. And so she sits there waiting to regrow, bloom again. I believe she blooms again while she's there. You can see the flower off. And then eventually she blooms while fighting you for a third time, becoming a goddess of rot. And eventually falling to your blade, the only person she's ever lost to. Because I mean, if you lose a fight, in this, you die. The fact that she's fought so often and never actually died means that yes, she has never known defeat. And that's what she means when she says, I have never known defeat. People will go, oh no, but she lost to Radan. No. No. If she lost to Radan, she'd be dead. But she ain't. It was a draw. Neither of them are dead. They were just both severely harmed by the fight. Easy. S tier. Malekith, Black Babe. A tier. Awesome story. We spoke about it in the other one. The fight itself is really, really cool. He leaps like a mad lad. Like from pillar to pillar, backflip, fucking sending like laser cutters at you. Really, really cool. Margaret, the fell Omen. The boss at the start of the game that tells you to get good. Margaret and Morgott, again, same character. Fight's a little bit different, but again, it's just the same character. Morgott is sending out his, like an image of himself to fight people, to kill Tarnished who are trying to become the Elden Lord, because to him, no one is worthy. No one is worthy of taking up the throne. Everyone betrayed the throne in the Shattering, and so no one deserves it. And I can respect a man of that integrity. So he is going in B tier. Knights Cavalry, knights that worked for Margaret / Morgott until they didn't. It's not really revealed if they still work for him or if they used to. Cool fight, excellent armor. Everyone likes a good black knight. It's just too bad you can't cut off their limbs one by one. That would be a cool hint, right? But for that, C. Nice and easy. Nox duo. Okay, so the Nox are interesting. They're all, at least the priestesses, they're all women. Especially like the ones with the whips and like the scythe whips, they're really, really cool. And then the ones with the maces, I believe, are the men as well. So that's really, really cool. Like little, like kind of cultural fighting style, which I really like. But there's not much to them. Like they're from Noxtella, the ancient city, but we don't know much about Noxtella. It might be revealed further on, but for now they're just gonna sit in D because I really didn't like the fight. The Omen Killer. Omen Killers are interesting. Like, you know, just these people who are there to go around and kill Omen babies or Omens themselves because apparently they need to be killed because they're cursed, because they have, you know, those growths and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? It's like, yeah, very D. Like nothing super special about it. Patches, best boss fight because he gives up halfway. Fucking hilarious. You know, great story. We've already gone over it in a previous video, but the fact that his boss fight is literally just him lording it over you until he realizes he's at half health and he's like, no, please. And then you stop attacking him and you just win. It's great. I love that. Onyx Lord. Onyx Lords are cool. They're like these underground race of like, you know, pure granite stone of like, oh, should I say pure onyx. It's in the name. But they've been around for a long time, like way before the Erd Tree was a thing and the Greater Will came and applied its will to the world. But apart from that, not much is known. The fight's relatively easy. They're quite slow and ponderous. They just use gravity magic. So for that, stick it in C. Nice and easy. Perfumer Trisha. Okay. This is a tough one. Because on one hand, I think these are really cool. The fact these perfumers are like these actual warriors who use these ashes that spread out and create explosions. They're really cool, right? But on the other hand, they're annoying as fuck to fight. I hate them. They're so annoying. You know what? They're so annoying that they're going in D. 100%. That's it. That's where they are going because they annoy me too much. Now, Putrid Tree Spirit. Again, going with the Tree Spirit. Easy enough. Same reasoning applies here. Ratagan, F tier. Now you'd be wondering, Kip, why is Ratagan an F tier? I will tell you why Ratagan is F tier. Is because he is just a stick in the mud. He's all about the order, following the rules. He is the side of Marika that is all about following the elder, following the outer will, doing everything by the book, following all the rules. Pure perfection. I hate it. And he just sits there trying to repair the Elden Ring after Marika, his better side, destroyed it. Not to mention, it's him who leaves Rennala. He just leaves her just for no good reason to go back to Marika. It's just, you can't trust him. You can't trust him. He's F tier. Fight's okay. Fight's pretty cool. But again, lore-wise, he's just a dick. A dick who just sticks by the rules. It's just a stick in the mud. A dick in the mud, if you will. Done. Red Wolf of Ratagan, best boy. A. Love the fight. So cool. Jumping around all the way. The last gift of Ratagan to Rennala before he fucking leaves her. Like an asshole. Summons a sword to become little mini Sif. It's great. A tier, 100%. Rykard. Join the Serpent King as family. 100% S tier. I love everything about his like the lore. I want to know more. Tell me more. Where did the Great Serpent come from? Are there more of them? Will he eventually grow back? How did he take control of the Great Serpent? Did he know he would take control of the Great Serpent? What convinced him to do that in the first place? So much. I mean, we know why he was convinced to do it in the first place. He, like a smart person, realized, like Rennala actually, because not Rennala, Ranni. He and Ranni teamed up. Ranni gave him a small portion of the Rune of Death, just in case Malekith came for her or him. They were in cahoots. He's a smart boy. I want to know more. And not to mention, his fire is awesome. Giant snake, man. You have that really cool snake killer weapon. Amazing. Absolutely love it. Scaly Misbegotten. I am going to put that down in D. You know what? Actually, yeah, D. It's just there's nothing fancy about it. It's just a Misbegotten with an axe in a fight. It's fine. Sir Gideon, fucking F. Just like in the other tier list, he's an F. He's an asshole, all-knowing asshole, and not to mention his fight is a fucking pushover. He just steals all of the spells and abilities of other characters that you've come across because he can't do anything himself or come up with anything himself. He just steals it from everybody else. F tier. Soldier of Godric. C tier. Nice, simple tutorial boss. Easy. Spirit Caller Snail. I love the Spirit Caller Snail. It was hilarious. I love it. It's so funny. The fact that the first time I came across it was in one of the barrows where it's invisible. And so I walk in, it says Spirit Caller Snail. I'm like, what's going on? And then suddenly a knight appears. I'm like, okay, I gotta kill the knight. I start attacking the knight, and it doesn't do damage to the main bar. It just does damage to it as if it was just a regular enemy. And I'm like, hang on a second, is this motherfucker invisible? He is. So you go around trying to track this invisible snail. Every time you hit it, does massive damage, and it just tries to run away. It's absolutely hilarious. I love it. Best like little quirk boss. I love it. It's so good. Ancestor Spirits, S. Absolutely beautiful. Fights simple, elegant, but everything about the spectacle of the fight is amazing and gorgeous and melancholy. I love it. Everyone does. I don't think I've come across anyone who dislikes this or would not agree with this. So good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a collective decision here. It's going in A tier, mostly because we don't know enough about the lore behind it, right? Apart from that, A tier. Renala, A tier. Specifically, I like both sides of it, actually. I like both parts of the fight. The first part is creepy as fuck. Like all of the children or the children that they grow up and then they get returned back to children. Hence why they're always singing the bedtime stories. I believe someone translated or recorded exactly what they were singing. It's pretty creepy. It's great. And then the second phase, where you're just like fighting with the full moon in the background against Renala in her peak, when she Kamehamehas the shit out of you. Absolutely great. A tier. Royal Knight Loretta. Okay, this is going in C tier because it is a duplicate of Loretta, but worse. Simple. Royal Revenant. F. Fuck this thing. I hate it. No one likes it. No one should like it. It is horrible. Just screeching and flailing and just running around in circles, throwing up on you. Fucking sucks. Rune Bear. I have killed Rune Bears. Why are they the hardest things to kill in the game? I don't understand. Why is a Rune Bear the hardest thing to kill in a game? Explain this to me, FromSoft. Explain this to me. C. Starscourge Radan. C. Lore-wise, he's cool. The fact that he learnt all this gravity magic partially because he just wanted to ride his little horse, but he was getting too big. But he wanted to protect his horse. He wanted to keep riding it because he's his favorite horse and they have a bond. I'm gonna have to throw him in A. See, the reason why his lore is great, but I hated his fight. It's a cool spectacle, but it's tedious and so swingy. That's that. If it wasn't for that fight, the fight was a bit better, he'd 100% be S tier, right? But because it's not, it's A tier. Stone Digger Troll. It's just a giant in a dungeon made of stone. D tier. Tibia Mariner. Toot toot motherfucker, you're C. Just floats around tooting on his horn, summoning shit. By the by, pretty average. Tree Sentinel. This guy is cool. He's hilarious. First thing you see coming into the game after meeting your first NPC, you see him walking back in front. You're like, oh, I'm going to give this guy a try. You walk up to him, absolutely floored. Absolutely floored. And you're just like, no. Okay, this is teaching me to run the fuck away. So, you do. Love him. Plus, the armor is so cool. You get the giant polearm if you kill him. It's great. Okay, moving on. The Valiant Gargoyles. D. We all know why. We don't need to continue this conversation. Wormface. D. We know why. We don't need to continue this conversation. The Abductor Virgins. I think these Abductor Virgins are cool. Like, early on in the game, they terrified me. I never wanted to fight them. And honestly, most of the time, I don't want to fight them. But now that I've played the game for longer, I actually do think they're really, really cool designs. And the way they fight is super interesting. I wonder why they were made. I mean, obviously to abduct people and teleport them to the Volcano Manor. But for what reasons? Why were the Volcano Manor abducting people in the first place? It's interesting. So you're going in C. Adan. Couldn't read that for a second. Adan, Thief of Fire. This guy, hilarious. C. Nothing special about him. He just stole fire. He loves fire so much. He just, worships the fire. He's just like a portly man who throws fire at you. It's hilarious. Easy fight though. C. Alabasta Lord. Similar to the Onyx Lord. C. Electo, Black Knife Ringleader. Okay, so where we had the Black Knights before, which I believe were in C. Yeah, Black Knife is C. This is also going in B. This is also going in B. Similar fight, he has a few more moves because he's a bit fancy, and his lore is, actually, you know what? Now that he's there, I think he has to be better than the regular Black Knife assassins because he's the leader. And then you kill him, and you get his daughter, who's also a Black Knife assassin, and she's amazing. She's one of the best summons in the game. So no, yeah, he's 100% B. Alright. Regular Ancestor Spirit, same as the Regal Ancestor Spirit. Same reasoning, easy. Ancient Head of Zamor. Now Zamor I don't know much about. I know it is one of the ancient races that helped fight against the giants. Hence why a lot of them are frozen as well, because their magic is ice. And they were hired to fight against the giants, who were all about fire. But apart from that, it's not much is known, but I do like the way they fight, very floaty, like they flow from move to move. It's really, really cool, and their armor is interesting. So you know what? C. And now we have Astel and Astel, two different Astels. Both of them are going into A, because I love their fights. The design is so cool. They're just this giant fallen celestial being trapped down on our plane of existence. Shoot giant lasers at you. They got that weird like skull stone head with giant pincers. And I don't believe these are worshipped by the prawns, but they're always near prawns. So there must be a relationship somewhere, because I know the prawns worship the outer god of rot. So many things we don't know. But that's why they're going in A. And now we have our final tier list of all the bosses of Elden Ring. As before, this is the definitive list. There is no arguing against this. And if you want to spread this around to spread the word of gospel of this tier list, it would be great. And with that, I'll leave you to it. I'll see you next video. Bye! Wait, don't forget to like and subscribe. Whoops! Bye!